Soul Searchers, it's your girl Souls, and I'm back with another video. So today I've come to talk to you about me writing my novel in a year. So this is something that I actually started doing in 2018, did not finish the novel, barely got a page, and then in 2023 I led a class write a novel in a year, and it was very successful, went well. I had all the tools and resources, so I kind of wanted to share that with you. Okay, now I'm not gonna go through the whole class. That'll be something that'll be available on my Patreon later, but it is something that I wanted to tell you all about and share it with you so we can maybe crush out this entire goal together. I need some accountability because your girl's been off track, so I want to get on track. Here comes my kitten. But anyway, so I wanted to hold myself accountable to actually finishing this novel and getting a first draft, and I want to do it all the way up to next year. So we're gonna do a novel in a year. I'm gonna work with y'all and give y'all updates every month on how I'm doing with this novel. Now, I know I do other things on this channel, but this is something I also do. So welcome back to my artist life. We're going back to making and being creative. So let's get into this update. Where are we at with this novel? Is it possible to write a novel in a year? Can we do it? Yes. The answer is yes. It is definitely possible to write a novel in a year. All you have to do is sit down and do it. That's the part that we struggle with, is the sit down and do it. Now, I led about 50 students through this class, and successfully completing the novel in a year was about 20 people. Others were just trying to get ideas for how to get their novel started, and then others were just trying to figure out which novel they should focus on. They had a bunch of different projects. So out of the people who actually knew what they wanted to write and had a clear goal in mind, they were able to complete their novel in a year or less than a year. I had one student, she did like 3 books. I was like, wow. But she had written a book before. Now that was also a part of it. Writing a novel in a year is easy for people who have written novels before, but if it's your first novel, is a little difficult, right? Because you're trying to figure out what type of writer am I, what type of schedule do I need, yada yada yada. For people who had written novels before, it was a lot easier for them because they had written them before. They just hadn't written them in that short time span. Maybe trying to do it during November, during a write a novel, during NaNoWriMo, during National Novel Writing Month. That's what it is. So they had tried it in that framework, but giving them a little bit more time, giving them specific goals that they had to reach was really achievable. So I saw a lot of success in some people writing their novel in a year. So it was great. 20 people completed it. Everybody else, we had some people who were struggling and just trying to get their ideas out, and then other people who made it part of the way, but at least had the tools to walk away with success of knowing that they could write a novel in a year. So my own novel, greatly enhanced from this. So my own novel saw a lot of progress because of the tools that I was teaching in this class. It allowed me to do it with my students, which was really great. So where are we at with my novel? Okay, got my handy dandy notebook. So where are we at with my novel? I have about 25,000 words so far. I'm aiming for 50,000. Now, it took me a year to get to 25,000. The only reason is because I didn't know at the beginning what genre I wanted to write to. Did I want it to be young adult? Did I want it to be adult? I didn't know. So that was a little difficult. Now that I have a clear goal in mind, and to answer that question, I want it to be I still kind of don't know. I think it's gonna be more of like a young adult, new adult type of book. because this will be a series. So this is like the introduction of a series. All of my characters are on the cusp of being of age, but they're not quite of age yet. So they're about 16, 17 in this first book. And that's also the thing that I realized, because I was like 20,000 words in and I was like, we're not close to being finished. Wow. So that's why I say my goal word count is about 50,000 to 70,000 words, because I really honestly could see myself hitting the 70 and, you know, exceeding that 50,000 word goal. And I discovered that this was going to be a series. That's something I didn't know going into this novel. I knew it might be 1 or 2 books, but it might be 2 or 3 or 4 books, which is something I did not anticipate. But because my word count is almost there, I had to realize, okay, we got to change that. We got to change that goal. Okay. And then that's where we're at. That's where we're at, folks. We are at 25,000 words, which is amazing. That's a lot of progress. And my plan of attack is writing about 2,000 words a week, which means that at the end of each month, we should have at least 4,000 words done. Which means, y'all, we could definitely exceed and advance our goal by the end of this year. See what I'm doing here? See what I'm doing? I was technically supposed to be done with this book in February. I kind of got off track because in the midst of me writing this, I moved states. So I'm giving myself some grace, okay? I moved states, I changed jobs, I moved into a new place. So now we have to reanalyze. If you are interested in writing your own novel, let me know in the comments. What's your novel about? Okay, maybe you don't want to tell everybody. So are you working on a novel? Where are you at in it? Do you want to write a book? What do you want to write a book about? Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the things that you're interested in. I'm curious to hear. My book, I don't think I told y'all this either. But my book is like a fantasy fiction. Yeah, it's a fantasy fic. I sigh because it's a fantasy fic. Yeah, that's where we're at. I'm writing a fantasy fic and I'm excited about it. It's good. It's got like a lot of different wonderful characters. It has a great storyline. I mean, this book is turning out to be just the introduction. It's skimming the surface of a much bigger story in mind, right? So I'm really excited about it. It's a lot of fun. It is very, very exciting to do. Yeah, y'all. So if you're interested in writing a novel, let me know. Are you interested? Have you written a novel before? If you have, what genre are you writing? And then would you like some support writing your novel? Because I can make my Write a Novel in a Year class readily available to you. I could put the resources that I have that are helping me and I know would help you, and I can put those in the comments, you know. I can put them on my Patreon. So just let me know, because I'm here to help you. You're here to hold me accountable. I appreciate the accountability, okay? We are going to finish this fantasy fic by the end of this year, maybe? If not, I'm giving my other deadline August. I like to give myself 2 deadlines. The first deadline is my ambitious one. The second deadline is maybe more realistic but achievable. So that way we're not disappointed, because, you know, we've got to allow room for other things to happen in our lives, in our circumstances. Just make room. Open your hearts. Open your minds to other possibilities. That's where we're at. So I am excited to keep you all updated. I'm excited to share more with you. And yeah, let's get this novel done. Let's finish it. Let's ham it out. Okay? Because when the draft is done, we're going to send it to an editor. We're going to work through critique groups. We're going to be doing all the work to really get it to a final novel. And that's why you can achieve this in a year, because the first draft is not supposed to be perfect. The first draft is just to get the idea out of your head and finally onto a page so you can see it all laid out before you. That's what I tell my students. That's all you need, is to put it out on the page. There is nothing else you need to do other than put it out before you and see your idea come to life. Then, when you have your first rough draft, that's when the real work begins. That's when the editing starts. That's when you really start to hone in on the story and really solidify it as a book, right? But you got to get that first draft out. So that's what I'm doing. I just want to grind the rest of this draft out. Along the way, I've already discovered it's going to be a series. It's probably going to be longer than I thought it was going to be, around 50 to 70,000 words. It's going to be something that I really enjoy. It's going to be a fantasy fic. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. I'm ready. Are you ready? All right, Soul Searchers, thank you so much for watching today. And if you enjoyed this video, stick around, because we're going to do novel updates, like I said, every month, just so I can keep y'all in touch of what we doing and how we doing and what we doing with it.